Hi, it's TC here, and today I'm going to be changing the front brake pads on a Smart Forfour 1 litre, so 2015. So the brake pads are slightly different. If you look down here, these are what they look like on this vehicle, not the squarer ones and the shorter ones on the 4.2s. Okay, so let's get to work. First thing, take the wheel off of the car, loosen off the wheel nuts. You can stop now for a minute. If you look here, you can see a little indentation. All cars have them, and it shows you where the reinforced piece underneath the frame is. So the stand, little jack stand, goes under there the way I do it, and then jack it up. Take the wheel off, and then I put a axle stand underneath and tuck the wheel underneath as well, just to protect myself. Okay, so I've got it jacked up with the car jack. I've got an axle stand underneath the fixing just to take the weight if it does suddenly drop, and I've put the wheel underneath to protect the rotor as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take the pins out and then remove the pins at the back there. Just removing the pin. These are a nightmare to get back in, by the way. And now just removing the cover at the back. That sits in the back there, and you can get the Allen key then to remove the pin that holds the brake caliper in place. I'll just remove that one. Unfortunately the sun is in the wrong place, but that's where the Allen key fits. It's a 7mm Allen key which goes in and has to loosen right off. So you can see I'm loosening off the bottom pin that holds the caliper in place. They're slidey pins, so once they're out the caliper will remove itself. But I'm not taking them right out just yet because I need to push the piston right back in so that we can fit the new brake pads. Okay, just moving the piston back gently into place as far as it will go. Okay, so he's right back now, and now we're going to fit the new brakes. The pins are now taken right back, and the caliper will now just slide out. And there's the caliper removed. The pins that hold it, the sliding pins that the caliper slides on, just loosened out. And one of the old brake pads is still stuck in there, so it might be tapping out. Oh no, he's come out. So we're now just going to clean up all the fixings for the brake pads. If you do the brake caliper, don't let it hang on the pipe that feeds the brake fluid in. Just put it up on the top, or you can tie it up. Some people tie it right up on the springs or something, but I just lay mine on the top there. And I'm just going to go over all the fixings now that the brake pads slide on with a wire brush, just to get any corrosion and muck off, and then I'll give it a clean, give it a quick wash over, dry it, apply a little bit of grease, and then put the pads on. Okay, so I've just cleaned everything up, made sure there's no corrosion or dirt, brake pad bits anywhere. So what I'm going to do now is just put a little bit of grease on the sliding points. You can get spray grease for brakes, but what I use and always have used, a little bit of molly on there, not too much, just a little bit, just to help the brake pads slide in and out. If you put too much on, then you're likely to get it on the rotor and then get it on the disc, and it'll stop your brakes working very well. So all you need is a little smidge, just to help everything slide along. That's all you need. Okay, just put a little bit of lithium grease on there, just to ensure that the brakes, the new pads, slide as they do need to move as they wear down. And what I'm going to do now is just remove the pins, the 2 pins, take them out, clean them up and put a bit of grease on them. So here's the pin, and what I'm going to do now is just grease it up and slide it back into its fixing, and that just enables it to slide a little bit better. So first brake pad clips in there, the second one has a spring on it, clip, which clips in, takes a bit of lining up. There, in, and you just line the 2 up like that, and then tighten off the pins. Okay, I'm just tightening up the pins now. We move the caliper plunger all the way back, giving enough room for the brake pads. I'm going to tighten these right off now with a 7mm. Right, okay, just going to tighten them off completely. There's one. That's 2. Right, both Allen keys, the Allen keys, tighten them up. Put the little clips back in the back, the little covers, keep all the water out, stop them corroding. We put a bit of grease on them to help with the corrosion. The pin back in this clip back in, the bottom part just pushes in nice and snug, and you have to then pull this piece in to bring this piece down near. And he's in. Okay, so I've just tightened these all off while it's up and tested them. They're all working nicely now on these brakes. Everything tightened off. And what I'm going to do now is just lift it up a bit, slide the axle stand out from underneath. Always use an axle stand, because then that way if it all drops, or if your jack gives way, you're not going to get squashed underneath. I'm just going to lower it down. Nice, still there. And then I'm going to just tighten them off. I tighten these ones to 115 with a torque wrench. Job done.